Hi boys and girls, Grace Lutheran families. Well, this is it. This is our last week. No classes, no lessons, but we wanted to take an opportunity to just talk to you about a few things, especially the drive-by to say goodbye that we have scheduled all this week. So I wanted to go over some dates and times and the teachers' classes where you can bring your child and drive by to say goodbye to the teachers and helpers. So starting tomorrow night, Monday, May 18th, is all of the TWOS classes for Mrs. Whittemore's, and her time is 5 to 7 p.m. On Tuesday, May 19th, is Mrs. Jones's class and Mrs. Warren's 3-year-old class, and that is also from 5 to 7. Wednesday, May 20th, are Mrs. Litkenhouse's 3s and 4s. My time for Wednesday night is from 6 to 8 p.m. And then on Thursday, we have Mrs. Weather's 3 and 4s classes. Her time is from 5 to 7 p.m. as well. We will be out there under the awnings as you go out the drop-off doors. We're going to have some awnings set up and some tables. So what we would like for you to do is to definitely stay in your cars. We're only going to have one adult exit the car, and under the awnings we will have a table set up, and it will have your class labeled, and all you have to do is walk up and pick up your child's. It'll be a big paper sack with their name on it, and in front of the sack, if you ordered a CD and songbook, that will be right in front of your child's bag for you to pick up. We are going to be standing there waiting to say goodbye to each of the children as they come through in the car. We'll practice our social distancing and say our goodbyes, and it's a sad time for us and for you all as well, I'm sure. This is not how we would like to say goodbye, but it is an opportunity to see each of the little faces that we've had through this year. Sorry. It's been a great year, but a very different year. Nobody expected 2020 to end like this, but we want our chance to see your children and to see you all, and to say thank you for sharing them with us. So, a few more things that we would like to talk to you about. In their bags, they're going to have their name tags, their stickers that they had at the end of the year, their helper tags. There are pictures that we have taken throughout the year of each of your children, Halloween parties, Mother's Nights, Father's Nights, Christmas, just playing and showing what they did throughout the year and the smiles on their faces. There will also be goodies from the teachers, things that we wanted to just share with the kids to let them know how much we love them. And they're all different. All the teachers will have different things in their bags, but we wanted them to have this, to take home, to go through, and hopefully it will bring some joy to their faces. In the 4-year-old bags, their bags are a little different. It's going to have a lot of their artwork, much of which we did not get to do. That is something that we missed this year. But you will find some of their artwork in there as well. And also for the 4-year-olds, there's going to be it's called a world map, and this is an opportunity to share with your kids maybe another lesson throughout the summer, something that they can look at and learn and get acquainted with for their upcoming year in kindergarten. So for my class, and I think Mrs. Jones as well, we're going to staple a little baggie to the world map, and inside there are some colored stickers, And if you open the map up, it's all the places that we visited throughout the year. We talked about so many different stories, and so we would like to share with them the places that we visited. If you have a globe at home, I would recommend even using the globe along with the map and talk to them about the places that we visited. We talked about the United States and Washington, D.C., and who lives in Washington, D.C. Ask them who the president is. We talked about different countries where animals lived when we were talking about our herbivores and carnivores and omnivores, koala bears and kangaroos. So there are lots of different things on the map and places that we visited that you can go over the children with. On the map, we have a key, and the key will tell you which country to find. So in the United States, the White House, the Statue of Liberty, and a cactus for the desert. And so you will have a red star for the United States. So the key is on this world map. Here's the world map, and here's the little bag of stickers that will come with it. So this is the key that you want to use. We have a red star for the United States, a blue star for Israel. Israel, that's where Jesus was born. And so we talked about Nazareth and Bethlehem and Jerusalem. We have a green star for Australia, and you can see the picture of the koala bear. We talked about Kenya and all the animals that live there, and China, the panda bear, that's a blue circle, and the forests of China. We had a special day with Pastor Kishnick when we went to Germany, and we talked about the lederhosen that they wear for traditional festivals. And we had our big soft pretzel, and we did the chicken dance with Pastor Kishnick. And we also visited the United Kingdom, England, where the Queen of Elizabeth lives, and we had our tea with the Queen. So all of these places that we visited, we want you to find them on the map and put the stickers. Now, if your stickers don't stick, moms and dads, maybe you can be prepared to have some crayons or some markers, and they can make these little stickers with their markers as well. And also point out on the globe. So when you're talking about New York and Washington, D.C. in the United States, you can find them on the globe as well. Sometimes they get a little bit better idea of how far away China is when you show them on the globe that it's on the other side of the world that God made. Point out the water on the globe and the land on the globe. So it's just a really neat lesson, and you can actually take several different days to work on it. So that's in the 4-year-old bag. Also in the 4-year-old bag are going to be some of the tests that we would have done at the end of the year. And it's in their This I Know book. So on the front, we only got a couple pages done. So they will have their name and the May 20th, 2020 date. So that's the first page. The second page is a look at me. So we asked each child questions about themselves, their favorite color, their favorite foods. So that's always a fun thing to look at, to see what they like and enjoy. And the last one is Jesus loves me because, and some of these will make you cry. These children have an insight to God that some of us don't. The next page is called My Family. It's a picture of a house, and we would like for them to draw everyone who lives in their house. Mommy, daddy, themselves, brothers, sisters. They can put their pets on there as well. And if grandma or grandpa live with them in your house, that's fine too. So that's My Family. The next page is a following directions paper. So if you would have the crayons ready, and you can't help them, this is for them to know and to see if they can do exactly what you tell them to do. See if they can draw lines, circles, use the right color, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just to see if they can listen and follow the directions. So we have 2 brown eyes, 1 red mouth, 1 black nose, 6 green circles on the shirt, 1 purple heart where the purple heart should be. So if they can follow the instructions and just do the best they can, you can gauge how well your child is listening. This will help prepare them for kindergarten as well. The next page, again, using the crayons, this is to see how well they know their shapes and their colors. What I like to do, we usually put some distance between the children because we tell them they can't talk and we cannot help them. They have to know this on their own. I'll ask them to pick up a crayon, maybe a pink crayon. Hopefully they'll pick up the right color. And I will tell them to color the star pink. And see if they can try to stay inside the lines. If they can't, that's okay, but we also like to get them prepared to stay inside the lines and make their work nice and neat. And we have a red triangle. And when you get down to the last shape that needs to be colored, I'll always ask, what color crayon did we not use? And most of them can get it. So that's another one of their tests. The last one is probably the hardest one, and this one is on their numbers. Again, you're not supposed to help them. We want them to know and recognize their numbers. Starting at the top, they are not in order. They are from 1 to 10. Beside each number, they are supposed to draw or make a mark that many objects next to that number. So next to the number 1, if they want to make X's, squares, circles, whatever they want to draw, even just a straight up and down line is fine. They want to draw 1 object. So the next one is 9. Again, it's just to see if they recognize and know their numbers and know what it means to put that many marks over here in the columns. So these are things that you can do at home to gauge to see how well and how ready they are for kindergarten. So that's the This I Know book that will be in the 4's bags. All right, moving on, I do have one last book that I would like to share with you. The author is unknown, but I love this book because it covers 3 of the most important stories that we talked about this year about God and Jesus and their love for us and how much they care for us. Especially right now, God is taking really good care of us and He's helping us to stay safe and healthy. So my book today is called The 3 Trees. The Tale of the 3 Trees. Once upon a mountaintop, 3 trees dreamed of what they wanted to become when they grew up. So here are the 3 trees up here. I want to hold treasure, the first tree said. I will be the most beautiful treasure chest in the whole world. And if you can see over here, here's his vision of a treasure chest. I want to be a strong sailing ship, the second tree said. I will be the strongest ship in the world. I don't want to leave this mountaintop at all, the third tree said. I want to grow so tall that when people look at me, they will raise their eyes to heaven and think of God. I will be the tallest tree in the world. One day, 3 woodcutters climbed the mountain. With a swoop of the first man's axe, the first tree fell. With a swish of the second man's axe, the second tree fell. With a slash of the third man's axe, the third tree fell. The first tree rejoiced when the woodcutter brought him to a carpenter's shop. But the busy carpenter was not thinking about treasure chests. Instead, his work-worn hands fashioned the tree into a feed box for animals. The second tree smiled when the woodcutter took him to a shipyard. But no mighty sailing ships were built that day. Instead, the once strong tree was made into a simple fishing boat. The third tree was confused when the woodcutter cut her into strong beams and left her in a lumber yard. What happened? The once tall tree wondered. All I ever wanted to do was point to God. Many, many days and nights passed. The 3 trees nearly forgot their dreams. But one night, golden starlight poured over the first tree as a young woman placed her newborn baby in the feed box. And suddenly, the first tree knew he was holding the greatest treasure in the world, baby Jesus. One evening, a tired traveler and his friends crowded into the old fishing boat. When a storm arose, the second tree shuddered. But when the traveler stretched out his hand and said, "Peace," the storm stopped. And suddenly, the second tree knew he was carrying the King of heaven and earth. We talked about how Jesus stilled the storm. On Friday morning, the third tree was startled when her beams were yanked from the woodpile. She shivered when she was dragged through an angry crowd. She shuddered when soldiers nailed a man's hands to her. She felt ugly and harsh and cruel. But on Sunday morning, when the sun rose and the earth trembled with joy beneath her, the third tree knew God's love had changed everything. It had made the first tree beautiful. It had made the second tree strong. And every time people thought of the third tree, they would think of God. That was better than being the tallest tree in the whole world. Parents, we just want to thank you for sharing your wonderful children with us. Again, I hope they can take with them and use all summer long the things that they have learned in our school about God and Jesus. Boys and girls, remember to always use your fruits of the Spirit. We've talked about love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and self-control. Use all of those. Remember how Jesus loves us and how much you love Jesus. Share that with everyone. We love you, boys and girls. We can't wait to see you this week during the drive-by to say goodbye. We love you guys. Bye for now.